When the airship finally touched down at the border outpost, a collective breath was released across the cabin. Claire Arden was the first to disembark. She wasted no time. This was what she had come for: border duty. The contaminated zone assigned to this rotation was known as Devour's Reach. There was no delay. Claire unpacked only the essentials and prepared to enter the zone with the Sentinel unit. The night before departure, she hesitated. It was rare for her. She found herself wanting to invite a particular Sentinel, Caleb Cole, to accompany the mission. Their coordination had been seamless. Too seamless. Claire had never met a Sentinel who could keep pace with her instincts, her timing, her silence. In the past, every Sentinel she had guided woke with fear in their eyes. Fear of her. Fear of the Kraken. Her tentacles sensed the conflict immediately and erupted into excitement. Like big fish. We like fish. His fingers are beautiful, especially when he grips a blade. His voice is good, always good. When he almost cries, I would give him my life. I like the tail. I like the whole fish. Voices overlapped. Too many. 100 mouths speaking at once. Claire pressed her fingers to her temple, already regretting the thought. One tentacle, acting entirely on its own, sent an official message through the system. An invitation to Devour's Reach. There was no reply. Claire waited beneath a tree until the night cooled and fell asleep there. On the morning of departure, the unit assembled in the courtyard. Claire was already in tactical gear. Her gaze lingered on the doorway, and in her eyes, Caleb saw his own reflection. The courtyard was deep with shade. Flowers carried their scent on the wind. Leaves whispered overhead. "Am I late?" Caleb asked, smiling. "Devour's Reach." After a brief rest, they set out across scorched ground. Midway through the march, something rose into view. A massive Ferris wheel stood in the sea of flowers, its colorful cabins turning slowly. Something was wrong. A colossal shape hung upside down from its peak, draped across the wheel like a carcass. The unit stopped. The Sentinels focused their vision. Not alive, a shell. The translucent husk of a devourer that had already molted, suspended high above. Relief passed through the group. They moved quickly beneath it. The attack came without warning. The flower field split open. Something enormous erupted upward. Caleb raised his black-gloved hand and signed rapidly, a battlefield gesture. "You and me stay." They move on. The orca surged forward. Distance opened between them, petals scattering, the massive creature advancing. Yet Claire could see his eyes clearly. Steady, certain, reckless enough to gamble everything. "If it's the two of us," his gaze said, "we have a chance." Claire understood why she was looking at him. He was exactly as she had imagined. She stepped onto the orca's back. Wind tore through her hair. She pointed forward and spoke, voice calm and absolute. "You move ahead. Wait for us at the bunker." Caleb was already engaging the aberration as she entered the battlefield. The creature was vast, humanoid in form, emotionless in its gaze. A swollen green abdomen, wings blotting out the sky. Its movements were precise, cold, unforgiving. Twin sides swung faster than the eye could track. The air screamed. Space itself seemed to warp. Caleb's dark figure flickered backward, carving a long scar through the flower field, petals bursting into violet red clouds. He avoided the first strike. Behind him, the Ferris wheel was sliced cleanly in half, the cut so smooth it looked unreal. A moment later, half the structure collapsed into the flowers. Claire rode the orca straight into the fight. She took over his sight, his emotions, his perception. She sharpened his focus at the critical moment, muted pain and fear, absorbed danger in his stead. She faced the monster through his eyes. He observed the battlefield through hers. They entrusted their lives to each other without hesitation. This was not coordination. It was surrender. The battle was intoxicating. Steel and motion, blood and heat. A colossal monster amid a field of flowers. The orca slammed its tail from behind, shattering the creature's unstable form. It turned in midair. Claire stood on its back, hair whipping, eyes blazing gold. From the shadows, countless tentacles surged forth. Caleb rose and struck again. At last, the massive body fell, crashing into the flowers in a storm of dust and petals. Claire leapt from the orca and looked toward the horizon. A single, blinding point of light appeared. The sun. In Devour's reach, sunrise was lethal. She knew it instantly. They would not make it. The line of dawn swept forward, harvesting everything in its path. Caleb tore off his Sentinel coat and pulled it over her head. Imperial Sentinel uniforms were built for hell, flexible, durable, heat-resistant. In his arms, a small pocket of shelter formed. Claire was held there, protected. Pressed against his solid chest, she heard the orca cry out in pain. She smelled scorched protein, and in that instant, her tentacles connected to something vast, ancient, the Devour Queen. Claire's tentacles spread not to attack, but to anchor. Her consciousness was dragged into a boundless mental sea. Not chaos, not madness, but something old, stable, slowly breathing. An entire land alive. It was as if the entirety of Devour's reach existed because something was breathing. A single will, inhaling, exhaling. You can see me. The voice was gentle, almost amused. How rare. Claire lifted her head within the mental plane. In the depths of that indescribable consciousness, she perceived something that could not be confined to form. It was a queen, and at the same time, the core of an entire ecosystem. You are. Claire spoke slowly, anchoring herself. The source consciousness of Devour's reach. Yes, you call me a queen. The voice laughed softly. How endearing. Among humans, there are always a few like you, those who notice the truth. Pain surged through Claire's skull, sharp and splitting. She did not retreat. Was it your plan? She asked, voice steady. To farm guides? Not ours. The Queen corrected her gently. It is a collaboration. Images unfolded within Claire's mind. The White Tower, its walls. Guides carefully selected, numbered, soothed, protected. And sentinels sent endlessly to the border. Expended without hesitation. Granted deaths labeled necessary. Your Queen of the White Tower provides us with guides. Once corrupted, guides become structural anchors, pillars that stabilize contaminated zones. In return, border pressure remains. Manageable. Claire's breath caught. She understood why guides were revered yet never free. Why sentinels were hailed as heroes yet endlessly sacrificed. Why contaminated zones were never truly erased. You survive, Claire said quietly, by relying on humans. Yes, there was no denial. We cannot replicate you. Aberrations are not true continuation, only parasitism. You believe us powerful, but in truth, we cannot exist without you. The mental sea shuddered. Claire felt herself on the verge of tearing apart. And then, a hand pressed firmly against her back. Not a spirit. Warmth. Real. Caleb's voice reached her ear low, grounded. Don't let it pull you away. You're still here. She snapped back. Reality was burning. The dawn line of Devour's reach was closing in. The ground fractured. The flower sea withered to ash. The orca let out a restrained cry beneath the heat, yet did not retreat. Caleb held her at the edge of annihilation. What did you see? He asked. Claire looked up at him. She didn't hide it. The truth, she said. And a choice. She knew the queen was waiting. If she agreed, she could stay. Become a new pillar. Devourer's reach would stabilize. The contamination would retreat. Many would live, but she would no longer be herself. Caleb didn't press. He lowered his forehead to hers. What do you want to do? Claire closed her eyes. Behind her, the tentacles unfurled slowly, not to cling, but to sever. She reversed the flow of her power and tore the connection apart. I refuse. The mental sea released something like a sigh. A pity. You could have become eternal. I only want to remain human, Claire answered. The world collapsed. At the final moment, the orca surged upward, tearing through the burning air. The dawn line swept past behind them, consuming the flower field and the contaminated land alike. Devourer's reach disintegrated. They crashed beyond the border outpost's protective barrier. Time passed. The wind calmed. Claire opened her eyes. The sky was blue, uncontaminated. She was alive. Caleb was beside her, still shielding her, his posture unchanged. Is it over? He asked quietly. One of them, Claire replied. She looked at him, but not the last. Caleb paused, then smiled. It was faint. Real. Then we keep going. He stood and offered his hand. No vows. No promises. Only alignment. Claire took his hand. Behind her, the tentacles stretched, calmly silent now. This fish is ours. Together. She didn't argue. In the border wind, they walked forward side by side. The end.